7 o'clock. We can call the Richmond Township regular board meeting to order. Stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Yes.
Sure. Cindy Green
Here.
Kathy LaFontaine here. Krista Voss
Here.
Elaine Waterstad here. And Vernon Coleman.
Here.
Thank you. Next item we have tonight is a presentation of agenda. Anybody would like add to the agenda tonight? Very good. The motion to accept the agenda as presented.
I'll make that motion.
Support?
Support.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Next item we have is public comment on agenda items only. Hearing none, we'll move on to the approval of minutes from the October 12, 2022 regular board meeting. Has everybody had an opportunity to review their minutes?
I make a motion to approve.
Do you support? Support. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Next item we have tonight is the consent agenda. Inside the consent agenda, we have the building department report, EMS report, office manager report, planning commission report, and the NEMC minutes. Is there anything anybody would like to remove from the consent agenda tonight? Hearing none, can I get a motion to accept the consent agenda as presented?
I'll make that motion.
Your support?
Support.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Next item we have tonight are the financial reports. In your packet is the bills from Kathy. Does anybody have any questions for Kathy regarding the bills?
You know, it's just a question.
You can ask.
I have this question about the cemetery of the recreation board. The only question I have is, do we have a cemetery that's associated with the township different than the city?
The one right on Armada Ridge Road, in front of Jesco's.
Oh,
We
okay.
have to maintain that.
Oh, okay, I just didn't know where that was, and I didn't know who owned
And
it.
it's budgeted for the mowing of the lawn.
Okay, one more question. Sure. All right, and I saw in the larger financial report about this DTE streetlights. I was just wondering if those were all the streetlights? Is it just for our parking lot streetlights? Or
It's
is it-
36 square miles.
I'm sorry?
It's all our 36 square miles of
Whatever,
streetlights.
whatever streetlights are in there.
Oh,
That's our monthly charge. They're switching on to LED though, right?
That would be fantastic. I don't know if they are.
The bill is going up a lot.
Really?
Like this last one really went.
That's just, you know,
It's
Yeah,
it's
it's-
jumped almost 2
are they switching those to LED?
The street lights.
Yeah.
I know been making the rounds.
Yeah.
I'm not aware of any particular in Richmond Township yet. But,
Yeah.
If you have some contacts, I can go around and find that out.
Out at night that much to notice how much is being
There's one out
switched.
here,
But it looks like it's
there's
up.
one at Armada,
And I think there's one at the end of our big hand road too.
I think there's one at Omaha 32.
But it should be, is it going to be cheaper than LED or more expensive?
They should be cheaper,
Yeah.
And we're going to opposite.
but whether they pass that on to us.
Yeah, we'll see, won't we?
I think I listed my floor of all of our streetlights that you give you, and I have only one contact on it. Sounds like you're welcome to do it, try it.
Yeah, start your contact, and otherwise I would have the planners all the time. I can just hold somebody over there and figure it out.
What's going on.
Yeah.
That was it, that's all, it was easy.
What you got for us tonight, Bree?
Good.
I know, you don't have a question?
Okay.
Wow.
If there's no other questions, if you get a motion to approve the paid bill as presented,
So moved.
support? Support. All fair side?
Aye.
Motion carried. Next item we have is the treasurer's report.
First of all, I'd like to apologize for this being late. I'm sorry. I was busy and I didn't get to you on time, and I apologize. In the general fund, fire fund account, we have $1,179,234.79. The tax disbursement account looks much more reasonable right now, as $170,172.85. Other PNC accounts is listed above for a total of $456,54.65. The investments account, $213,329.28. The North Star account is down quite a bit from the money that we paid to have our driveway fixed at $7,772.65. And the PDR account has $30,960.89.
Any questions for Cindy regarding the treasurer's report? Hearing none, the treasurer's report will stand as presented. Thank you. Next item we have tonight is farmland preservation.
Yeah. We, as always, we run into a little bit of a snag with we were working with the title company. And the title company we were working with does primarily residential, commercial, stuff like that. And they're not really familiar with this type of work. And it got to a point where it wasn't going to work out. So the state told us to go with a company out of Vassar, Michigan, that usually does a lot of their PDR stuff. So we have switched over to them, and the gentleman has told us that he may be ready to close by the end of the week. Now, that hasn't, we haven't heard that yet, but I've seen that. I think it was just that the other company didn't realize what really was going on, so.
And we were referred to be fair to us, we didn't do that out of we didn't know.
We didn't know.
We just
And
started.
see, I think the state cannot recommend anybody, they can't just, but once we started having trouble, then they kind of stepped in and said, well, you need to go with this company here, they'll know what to do.
But it'll result in a double billing something,
Yeah.
not as much, but we have to keep moving forward, we can't. step
Because
in.
as far as the state is concerned, they're ready to move, and as soon as the title company gets their stuff done.
Okay.
So that's where it is at this time.
Okay. Hopefully we got another update next month that's moving forward a little bit. So. Any more questions for Vern regarding farmland?
No questions.
Thank you, Bert. Next item we have tonight is the building report.
Really don't think there's anything too much of a problem, supervisor. I was not at your October meeting, but, the driveways are done and completed to our satisfaction. Our engineer was just mentioning that they'll probably be doing their final draw on the project here soon. I don't see any reason why we would not get that out at this point. Other than that, we have the pole barn switched over to what we call winter mode, which means we've make sure the equipment's lubricated and all is ready to go should we get any salt or snow. Thank you.
Any questions or concerns for Jeff today? Well, thank you, Jeff. Next item we have is the assessor's report. In your packet is Christine's report for the month. Is there anything the board would like to take back to her? So, Ray, would you like to ask her anything about the KCI?
Oh, no, I was just wondering about I just was wondering about that if every single time that someone gets a building permit, if they're building something in our township, if that's always, I saw it listed on another, one of our other pieces of paper in our packet, that it listed some people that had building permits out there, and I just thought, that's it? Just those, 3 people? Because I thought, man, there's so many people building, there's got to be a list.
Right.
So maybe I was thinking maybe that's only a little bit of the list. I didn't know how this, if she updates you on everything that's being built.
They
Do
would
we have to do that?
Yeah, the building report.
That would be on Chris from the office would do
Yeah.
is what you're thinking of.
Yeah.
And those, that would be our building department.
Right, so not
It's a little
everything.
bit different than the assessors.
But she doesn't just report on what's going on, new permits pulled.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
month.
Yeah.
For that,
Yeah.
sometimes it's a long list, sometimes it's short list, just depends on the
Yeah,
activity they have.
Building looks like a building all year long, because they kind of.
Oh, that's fine. Okay, no, I don't have any questions.
Okay.
Next item we'll move on to would be the library report.
And I have nothing to do with it. No, not yet. Always updated.
All right, well, thank you for keeping that updated for us. Next item would be recreation report.
So you have me on as an agenda item. I also don't have much to report, other than now that the election is over, I can finally start working in earnest on the grant. Supervisor has been helpful, got me a couple of letters of support already, and I think that there's probably more coming. And the, I can never remember their name, Kathy helped me, is it Wilson or helping me?
Ralph Wilson Foundation.
Wilson Foundation. I did reach out to them just to see exactly what they were looking for me. I explained to them we would be applying for the Sparks grant, and their response was very cordial and very nice. What they said, since there was not a required batch for that grant, they were not doing anything for that, but to reach back out to them when we go for the DR money. So I said, okay, we would do that. So that's all I got.
So they strictly help with just matching,
That's what it.
helping us meet
Yeah,
our match.
it was very nice. Just say, please reach out again. He'd be happy to help me. But that since it was not anything that was required, they do not do that. Which I'm okay with.
Okay. It's good to be involved.
Right, and at least I got a guy in contact.
That's right.
So I like that.
Great.
You're good at, look at me, you said that. That's all I got.
Any questions for sitting in recreation before we move on? And now we'll move on to unfinished business. First item will be the medical marijuana update. Other than the articles in your packet, does anybody have anything on that?
I heard the voting went through for them last night.
For which community?
They were trying to zone it out of Memphis.
They're trying to get rid of it, but
It,
yeah, it's
it
gonna
did not
stay.
go down, it's gonna stand.
Yeah. Yeah, I seen it on somebody else, I can't remember which community it was now. Was it neighboring to us, I was not too worried about it. Okay, nothing else, we'll go down to personnel policy. A few days ago, I sent you all an email on the personnel policy from Sharon with some changes. I know with the election and everything, we've had a lot going on, so I'd like to just leave this on here maybe until next month, give everybody an opportunity to read through it, take a look at it. There's a couple sections that I need to update, I think it's 33, 34, if I remember right. But if you have any questions in the meantime, please definitely reach out.
When you do that next month, are you gonna put it in our packet, or are you gonna give us a hard copy?
We can put it in that if you like, but
We need something.
I like that, so when we're discussing, I
Yeah.
can maybe put notes on it.
Yeah, we need to look. A hard copy might work better.
So I have a lot to talk about on it, but we're gonna wait till next month. This
Yeah.
is not going to, it's not in stone, right? We still
No,
get
it's
to
just,
read it.
it's just a
Okay.
draft,
Okay.
so we can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
with it.
Great,
So,
so put it out to the.
but I just think I think we should give them hard copies, so like
Yeah.
Cindy said, they
I'd
can
like
go
one.
through there, even ahead of time, so you can go through and write notes.
So we'll get our
Questions about
copies.
this, questions about
Maybe the next few days we'll get them printed
Yeah.
out and make sure everybody's got them.
that. Yeah.
And we'll get them in color so you'll see Sharon's changes in.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I mean, that way there, they can see what she's changed and what she recommends.
Okay.
I was just saying, how did I get one? I think you sent us a link
Well,
to print them out.
did you
Because
print
it's
them
in
off?
red.
He sent it through, but I just didn't print mine.
I couldn't print it off.
Yeah.
I didn't print mine.
She's got her highlights are in red
Yes,
throughout the
make sure.
whole book,
Yeah.
yeah.
We'll get color copies for everybody in the next couple of days and you
That'd
can
be great.
pick them up and.
Thank you.
So, let me know and I was prepared.
You were dealing with the crowd, you never heard of that.
Because it was say, yeah, you were way ahead of me.
Yeah, it was elections.
I
I'm
know,
impressed.
surprised.
Okay, so that'll be on that next month's agenda to discuss. Next item we have is the building inspector position discussion. In front of you, not in the packet, but on the table, there's a little packet on that. Bert and I met with Chad Nickel yesterday, actually at noon, to discuss the inspector position, just the few of them all. They had a list of some people that weren't really in the area that could have been potential inspectors, but I had ran across Chad a couple of years ago, and I know him and Drew are pretty close, and I I asked him someday would you ever be interested? He said, well, someday when Drew's retired. So I kept that in the back of my mind. Knowing Drew's retired, I reached out to Chad. He was still interested, so I set up a meeting with him, Bird, and myself yesterday. And at the end of it, I think we'd like to recommend hiring, but I kind of want
I have a question.
to get questions from the board. So I'll lay it out.
Okay, so I'm wondering about this only because I see that, you know, I'm just looking at, he's completed this occupational safety and health administration 30-hour safety training course for construction 20 years ago. So I'm sure that things have got to be changed, they've got to have changes or updates or something. Would he have to have additional, like, you got to keep your license current or things like that?
I don't know a ton about the OSHA. I know they offer like a 10-hour training, which you have to do every year. He did the 30-hour, which I believe is a lifetime certification.
He's gonna have to go for a certification for the building.
Right.
He's gonna have to pass that first. But as far as this, he just showed us this, that he has had that, has always shown.
Right.
And he's willing to do any continuing ed that we want him to do.
Right.
He said he's open to any of that. Because most of this stuff you can do online now.
Yes.
It's just a matter of setting down to do it.
I always wonder, you know, because there's got to be things that are different from, you know, things change all the time. So if
Oh,
you're
yeah.
not getting updated on it, and I think it is.
Well, you have to, the building, Charlie just had to redo his.
Yeah.
They keep track of that, and you have to keep up with continuing ed out there all the time. And then they do have their, what is it, Boca or one of them?
Boca.
Yeah, they have to attend them, so many of them, I don't know if those are just parties or what.
Yeah.
No, I actually do think they have, I remember talking to about
Yeah.
with Drew a while ago, and I actually think they do have some learning that.
Yeah, they
They
do
have
have
to do
stuff
it,
they
yeah.
have.
Right.
Yeah, you have to do continuing ed on
So I think that's through any trade.
Yeah.
It's just got things like
it. In order to
this,
keep that
where he was
license.
grandfathered in,
Yeah.
Right.
and he would have this.
Yeah.
And then they don't give those certificates for every single time you accomplish something and everything, but you could check on you
Right.
as a hire, you give them.
Right, absolutely. And you can, I think they even have an online system. You can type your name and it'll bring up, what they're current in or
Yeah.
not current.
So he is not currently a building inspector?
Not currently building
No,
inspector.
he's not a building.
And so how long will it take him to become, I'm just thinking because we don't want to lapse, I'm sure, again, I know it sounds stupid, but with our liability insurance, I always think about that in the back of my mind, we want to make sure we have a certified building inspector.
Well, we did talk about that as Drew, I haven't received an official resignation letter from Drew yet. So I mean, when we do the motion, it would be contingent upon receiving that and his resignation date being effective December 31st. But we did let Chad know that by January 1st, he would be effective, we need those certifications completed by.
As soon as we let him know, he's gonna do what needs to be
Yeah, he's
done.
going to get moving on that.
Yeah.
He's 100% on board with it. I like the fact that he's young, he's in the community pretty much all the time. He's got his own building company, so he's always building.
He's willing to work with Charlie, he knows Charlie.
Yeah.
The certification part, the state has kind of gotten so desperate. I don't know if there's really much to it anymore.
They're going to want their.
Because they used to have a builder's license. You don't have to have a builder's license anymore.
That amazes me.
Yeah, well, it's just because they can't get anybody to do it.
Right. But he does have a builder's license and
Yeah.
construction management degree from Michigan State, so
Hmm.
Bert and I really like our discussion with him.
Yeah, I thought you could do
He came in to vote,
it. Yeah.
and
It was right after, because I was right behind him.
He left here, he went to vote.
because I told him, I says, I just seen you in the principal's office.
Oh.
And he's like, yeah, and I says, oh, and I said, what who are you? And he introduced himself, very nice guy, it's the first time I've ever met him.
And Chris says he's very respectful and polite to her when he comes in for stuff.
So what happens if he does, who inspects his stuff?
Well, we have our backup inspector, because we made it clear that he obviously can't inspect his own.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I know we-
Yeah, he knew all that.
And he was very, yeah, he
He's
absolutely.
familiar with a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
I just wondered, I mean, I thought about that when you said he does a lot of work in the township. I'm thinking of that.
Right. Well, he does a lot in the township and out, but he's always not far. It's not like he goes up north and does stuff. He's always in the area.
He lives at Fox
Fox
Creek,
Creek, yeah.
so he is a township resident.
Yeah.
That's good too, that's a plus.
His school section road,
Yeah.
right, Burnsville Health.
Okay.
Any other questions or concerns? Hearing none, then it would be the personnel committee's recommendation, hire Chad Nickel as the Richmond Township Building Inspector beginning January 1st, 2023, contingent upon obtaining certification and contingent upon Drew Davison's resignation effective December 31st, 2022.
I'll make that motion.
Your support?
Support.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion is carried. Thank you. And I threw that contingent upon Drew, just because I don't have that in my hands yet, so I'm sure we will. But- Okay, next item, or next section we're going down to tonight is new business. The first item we have is the approval of planning and zoning fee chart. One of our recent meetings of a construction project, it was brought to our attention that one of the line items needed to be updated, more specifically in the permit section. It was just a note being added. That, as far as I know, that was the only change. So, Matt, was there anything more than that? Just the note on the permit section?
I'm sorry, I missed your question.
On the planning and zoning fee chart, we added under the permits, your note there under the township engineer. Is that the only change to that, or is there more changes?
No, we updated a couple of things.
Was there? Okay. Sorry. Warned you.
Okay, so the plot plan in the first one, the sketch plan, we call it slash plot plan, that increases to 244. Lot split in combination as necessary, 122, but as we updated the planner's fee chart, we kind of try to match the per acre also for the site plan reviews. So there are a couple of things. And then that 1% it was missing from a couple of spots, and we added those back. And we added a plant unit development. And a couple of inspection fees, again, that carry the same 1%. This way it's clear for everybody.
Okay. There's just some minor changes, and any questions for Samantha regarding the changes?
No. And Lori will reflect every single change within the minutes, so that's out there.
Okay.
Thank you.
If there's no other questions, the motion will be in order to approve the planning and zoning fee chart as presented.
So moved.
I'll support.
All in favor,
Aye.
Aye.
opposed? All right, motion is carried. Next item we have is the adoption of 2023 poverty exemption guidelines. And we do every year, and it's all been updated by our assessor. Any questions on that before we move forward? Hearing none, I recommend the board adopt resolution 2022-13 as attached to set the 2023 poverty guidelines for Richmond Township.
So moved.
Support?
I'll support.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? All right, motion's carried. Thank you. Last item under new business tonight is the renewal of contract with Casson Planning Service. Normally, we've been doing a one-year contract. This year, he'd like to do a two-year contract. I tried talking him to a six-year contract, and he said, no. So he does a fantastic job, and I'd like to keep him as long as we can. But we do have a two-year contract in front of us.
Is 600 what we're paying now?
Yeah.
And he wasn't asking for an increase?
No, I mean, everything I looked in here, it's all the same as our previous contract.
Did he come in the beginning at 600? Didn't he? Has he got one raise?
I don't know.
Steve Casson.
It sounds like there's no.
I know, I thought he was always being paid that same amount. I just wondered, I didn't know.
Last two budget years that I did, I remember the 600.
He's
Last
pretty
two
awesome.
budget years, I remember the 600, beyond that, I'm not sure.
He's our planner.
Can we
He tells us.
adopt it per review of, or not adopt it?
It pay for
Or
something.
even put it off till next month and review his contract to find out how long we had off.
Okay.
And then what
He
fee,
should-
like when we got raised.
I don't know if he's ever, yeah, I was, that's what I was.
Because CPM has always increased, I mean, the auditor increases every year, look at how things are
Right.
crazy.
You're right, maybe we should
Social Security.
We should increase it, but if you can get us the layout of what he started and where he's at, when his raise was, we should, and then recommend
I
it.
would, Kathy, I would support him here. If he hasn't had a raise, I would definitely support him.
Yeah.
He's been applying.
Oh, he's been amazing,
He's
yeah.
been applying.
Well,
Absolutely.
he did the codification.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did our
He didn't finish it
compensation,
yet,
but
No,
he
he
has,
did?
No.
No, but we've done a lot of work on it.
No.
and he does, he hasn't billed for it either, I mean, he's
No.
only billed for what he's done.
So do we want to,
Just nothing more.
so do we want to table approval of this 2-year contract
Until you come back with more information on.
with
And I support him.
recommended?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll, so we don't need a motion to table it, we're just going to table it.
We're just gonna take.
When the box again, we were, well,
I know it's a lot of that going on,
I just have to verify what's going on here, I just wanted to make sure I knew what's happening.
So Steve, or Cassie's rate, $600 a month. And
Yeah.
as far as we can remember, it's been 600, at least for the last 2 budgets I worked on, it's been that much, and probably even further back than that. So what Kathy was proposing, if we table it this month, and I'll go back and look, see when the last time we had an increase.
Mhm.
Maybe we'll, next month we'll approve it, but with an increase.
mhm,
We feel like we probably
yeah.
deserve an increase. It's being pretty reasonable at this rate, so.
That was Cindy that brought that, and I just went up right, I
Okay.
agree with her.
Easy.
Yeah. So we'll table it for this month, we'll bring it back next month with a suggested increase and approve it for your contract. Good with everybody?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, next item, we have items for next agenda.
John will be here for the audit. He started tomorrow, so he'll probably present it in December. He likes to present it in December.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
If it changes, I'll let you know.
Okay.
We're gonna review personnel policies.
Yep, that's gonna
And
stand
then,
out.
Cassie's contract.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
And then are you getting a hold of Steve McCutcheon? So you have an update on him or not?
Yeah.
Whatever his name
Yeah.
is. I just met him, nice
Steve's
guy.
his brother,
His
so.
name.
Well,
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, I'll just let them know that we approved it and
Oh, so there's
get
nothing.
things rolling.
If, he's willing to come before the board too, if you guys.
well, that'd be nice. I wouldn't mind.
He couldn't make tonight's meeting because I think his son had a football banquet or something. We told him that was fine, but he said he'd be willing to
Yeah.
come and meet the board.
Okay, yeah, we can say that for sure. Okay. Anything else anybody can think of at the moment?
I just want to make sure that we add, unless it happens at the time of the next meeting, I don't know. I want to make a big deal out of his PDR passing. That's- I mean, for Herm being a trustee and that to happen, that's a great thing that he's doing. So we gotta kind of do something. Call in the voice. Special guest, yeah, I don't know, we'll figure it out though.
But,
It's been going on a year.
yeah,
And Kathy, you've done a lot of work on that.
yeah.
Well, with Vern's help.
You guys, we have to get that on.
I'll bet.
Okay, well, like, as usual, please let us know if anything comes up, and we'll make sure we get it on the agenda.
Mhm.
Okay, next item, call the board.
I just really have one thing to say. I just wanted to thank Jeff for all the work he did in helping educate people about the village board, the smart services. And
Yeah.
it was really great, in my opinion, to see the turnout from last night. I know he has spent a lot of his personal time getting the word out. So I just want to thank him for that.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The numbers show that too.
Wow, yeah.
And I will say, because I did it this year, I have it to bring to you guys, that we had a little over 2,000 voters, and we only have like 340 3,040 registered. But we still registered more yesterday. So that's like, what, 2/3 of the
Yeah,
turnout?
that's good.
That was big.
That's amazing.
It was busy.
Oh, yeah.
It went great though. It really did. It went smooth. I mean, we had a few personal hiccups we got over real quick, which Lori is getting really good at getting behind the scenes and hustling through it. And
We're gonna-
yeah, things worked out really well.
Thank you all.
Good
And
collection.
Cindy, Kathy, that's a lot of work, so I need to rest a little bit. I would just like to bring up, I know it seems a little early, but I'm gonna do the food basket thing again for EMS, so we'll be putting those in my office. We'll have the 3 lined up. And Elaine, so you know what we typically do around Christmas, we'll put 3, I think we use the recycle bins, but we'll just put food products in for the EMS station. So, but we'll buy like 3 of this, 3 of that, and then fill all
What do you
the
have
rest.
the snack or dinner?
We're trying to keep it easy for them, microwave dinner, snacks.
But then when they're here?
Yep, so
Yeah.
we're at the station. Yeah, so just before Christmas, and Lori delivers them and gets them to the station. So, and they'll be out there for a while. We'll get them out there soon.
Could they have a wish list maybe?
They used to do a pretty good job here. Over the years, I can work with the board a little bit on that, like guys up. And it's something board started doing years ago. It certainly is appreciated, especially, when you look at like Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, there's not a lot of places to eat. So, so just, something to pull together quick on those days when we're working, it's always been appreciated by that.
I like getting the salami, the big salami sticks that you cut up and stuff like that.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah. So it's just put them in at your convenience. Anything else? Okay, hearing on, next item we have is general public comment. Please approach the podium, state your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Phil Apolonio. This is Mimi Apolonio. We live on 33665 Almeda Ridge Road. We've been there for 22 years and now on 22 acres approximately. And on the north side of my path, I own 3.5 acres. And the last few years I've been having some water issue there on the northeast corner. Since we had the fence company build their parking lot and it's holding water like crazy, and it had cattails growing all along the side of their fence, about 8 foot tall, about 150 feet, about 20 foot wide. I want to see what you guys can do for me there. It's just collecting water, and and now they built the second phase, and where's the water going to go to? I just wondered why I wasn't notified that there was supposed to be construction going on there either.
Okay.
And I talked to Sir Met, and you sent one of your guys over there, and he says that everything's going according to plan, but it's not that I see it. I'm about 1.5 feet higher, lower on the northeast corner than it is on the ditch of the bike path, close to the top of the property. And they're building this new addition. So where is and I noticed they put a drain tile from west to east on their property. Did they go all the way to the north and south too, or did they just put like a drain ditch? Is the ditch on my side, the east side, the side of the ditch? They have no structures, and everything's shit flowing towards the east, I guess. I don't know, sir. It just.
I'm sorry, this is not like a back and forth, it's only a comment.
What we can do is, once we adjourn here, just Sir Ben and I can come sit with you, we can, I don't have the plans in front of me either,
I did my own topo on my property, so I know my grades, according to their grades, okay? And I've seen that there's an issue there,
Okay.
So the water's not draining. It used to drain pretty good. I'm there for 22 years, and I had no problem till they raised their grade on their first phase, all the parking lot. So they matched their property to my land, but they raised their grade a lot higher. So they keep adding stone and top of stone and top of stone, and it's just blocking the water. I just want to know what somebody's going to do with it, what they're going to do. I can't have that. It's creating.
Right.
We got all the neighbors.
And I would like to everybody's from the northwest. It's supposed to be draining towards the low line.
So right after the meeting, can I come sit with you and talk to you too, real quick?
Pardon me?
After the meeting, can I come out?
Yeah, sure.